Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome to Hawthorne. I'm Julian Slowick, and tonight it'll be our pleasure to feed you.
The curtain rises.
Over the next few hours, you will ingest fat, salt, sugar, protein, bacteria, fungi, various plants and animals, and at times entire ecosystems. But I have to beg of you one thing. It's just one. Do not eat.
Is he serious?
Taste. Savor. Relish. Consider every morsel that you place inside your mouth. Be mindful, but do not eat. Our menu is too precious for that. And look around you. Here we are, on this island. Accept all of it. And forgive. And on that note, food.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
It was desperately trying to come out.
Yeah, especially the people that listen to our podcast on 1.5 times speed.
Oh, I know where the junk is. I'd stab you right in it.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good.
I guess there's really nothing you can do.
No, I tried, I thought maybe I'd drink a bunch of Diet Coke or something and try to belch out, the greater good. But or French maybe, because of French cuisine or it was really hard to come up with an idea for tonight.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, the only thing I could think of is like maybe you try to intimidate's not the right word. Impersonate Rafe Fiennes.
Rafe Fiennes. All I got to do is not blink.
Yeah.
And take your nose off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because he kind of. Well, we'll get there in a minute.
Yeah. We'll talk about it.
All right. Anyway, this is episode 431. And tonight we're talking about The Menu. I'm very excited to talk about this. This is a very new movie. Just came out like what feels like 5 minutes ago, and everyone is talking about it. And it just so happens that we are also talking about it. We are trendy people.
Yeah.
We're not usually.
So Sean,
what?
Who's on our menu for tonight?
Oh, who is on our menu? Well, first on our menu, our course one is Andrew. That first guy to go was actually the luckiest, Jimison.
I hate s'mores. Like, I don't like them at all.
Seriously?
Really?
But every time that someone offers me one, I take it and I eat it. And every time there's a campfire, I think, God, we should make s'mores. But I seriously hate s'mores.
Oh my gosh, what is it? They're
What the hell
sticky
is
or
wrong
something?
with
Or
you?
I
They're
just
good.
don't like them.
That's interesting. I mean, I
I
can't.
don't know what it
One-
is.
Have you ever done one with the Reese's cup instead of chocolate, like a Hershey's chocolate?
Yeah,
It's
and I
so
thought that
good.
that would it just bastardized it, and it just
Yeah.
it just turned it into it took something good, which is a Reese cup, and then put it with something that I just can't stand. And
Which-
so
Oh, it's so good.
The funny thing is like I don't like graham cracker outside of a s'more. Like,
Yeah.
if you said, "Hey, would you like a graham cracker?" No, I don't want a graham cracker. How about I put some melted chocolate and a burnt marshmallow on it? Yes, I'll take 2 on either side. It's just funny.
you know
My
what
mother-
else chaps real quick? I'm sorry. You know what else chaps my ass?
Yeah, what's that?
What's that?
When someone makes a perfectly good cake and nobody eats it.
No one ate that cake. That was so like
Honestly, though, were you feeling it? I mean, if you were in their situation, would you want to eat the cake? I'm not 100%.
I would have
sure
probably
Listen.
tried it because at that point it felt like everyone was pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Accepting
Yeah.
of their fate.
I am in for all forms of cake.
Yeah. including the band. All right. Our course number 2 tonight is Sam. I've been craving cheeseburgers for days. Vector.
I specifically went out to eat last night and got a cheeseburger for dinner. I specifically did, and in no way, it was very good, but it did not look as good as the one that she had in the movie.
Yeah,
but Sean,
it did look like Five Guys. That burger. It's what it
Sean,
reminded me of.
I need you to go over to Ralph Fiennes over there.
Right,
he's going to whisper in your ear.
Rafe.
And Ralph Fiennes is going to send you to the back room, and you can do whatever he tells you to do. Okay, so you know.
I do want to know what he said. You know, like, hey, so you're a failure, and everything you do sucks, and everything about this experience has been awful. You should just kill yourself now. You know?
Honestly, though, in ways to go, I think the fire would have been the worst.
Yeah, absolutely.
So burning. So of course, God, we're jumping the gun.
Oh yeah, spoilers, guys. I know it's a movie. We're gonna spoil the hell out of it. But if you're listening, if this is the first episode that you have found us, and this is your first episode, God bless you. Thank you for being here. But we spoil every movie that we review because usually they're not brand stinking new. Usually. So, all right. And our
who's our third course?
Our third and fourth course, I guess, because it's 2 people. So I'm not quite sure because they're not a pair. Like they're a couple, but you don't want to have them at the same time. You need to savor them separately.
They're not a supplementary course, though.
No.
They're definitely main courses.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And I think maybe one could be the main, and then the other can be the dessert.
And listen, I like dessert just as much as I like a main course. I'm just saying.
Yeah, don't we all? So, making their delicious return.
I'm the entree, baby. I'm the entree.
Oh, I was actually going to make you the dessert in this case.
Nope, that's Mike right over there.
Well,
I want to be the cake.
I was going to say it's not because Tabby is sweet. It's just because I actually like I like a good salty, like a salted caramel sometimes, you know, and Tabby is the saltiest person I know, so I think this works out.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like a pickle dipped in chocolate. That's your dessert, bitch.
Actually, actually a fried Oreo too, because fried Oreo, you know, you got the chocolate and but it's also got the salty of the fried part. So like, you know, I think that works.
I'm a s'more with a pickle chip on it. How about that?
That sounds awful, but okay, yeah, I'm with it. Would you eat one of those, Andrew? A pickled s'more?
You know what? Somebody would say, here's a s'more. And as much as I detest it, I would be like, all right, fine.
All right,
and
Sam.
then I would hate myself a little bit more for trying it.
Sam, when we get together, when we do my birthday next year, we're going to make sure to do s'mores and just make sure Andrew eats all of them.
Well, as long as we don't blow you down the mountain.
There's that too. I haven't introduced our guest yet. So, making their delicious return is Mike. Why did they have to go play hide and seek? And Tabby, our salty dessert. Tabby also got invited to the wrong dinner party and had to kill the hostess from the Happy Hour podcast.
What up?
Hello. So can I just say that if I'm, I don't know, if I'm either a dessert or entree, I could be both. I could just be the Kentucky State Fair cheeseburger where the donut is the bun.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, the Paula Deen kind of thing, right?
This
I'm that
savory
guy.
And sweet. Yes.
I'm a bacon cheeseburger on a donut bun.
Okay.
I'm that
Krispy
guy,
Kreme
though.
donut.
Krispy Kreme donut, right?
All day, yes.
Yep.
For our
That's how we do it in Kentucky.
northern listeners, you don't understand, but Dunkin' Donuts is basically just round cake. You know.
Well, yeah.
Krispy Kreme is the only donut. So
it's the clouds from God, the doughy clouds from God.
You know what? Somebody stick some marshmallow and some melted chocolate in between 2 donuts. Count me in.
Yeah. Not sure how that would work logistically. I guess you need like a donut that didn't have a hole in it, you know.
Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow.
Well, I enjoy a challenge.
Yeah, I know you do. That's why you've been on this podcast for
Well, see, now I feel obligated to, next time we're together, I'm going to have to create a s'more that Andrew will actually like. But here's the problem, because he's going to accept every s'more that I give him, and eventually, hopefully, he'll find out one he likes. But we'll have some interesting combinations.
Yeah, I like it.
Can I throw it out there for a s'more that you might like?
Sure.
Okay. So you've heard of I guess they're grasshoppers,
This
or
is
like
an
the
alcoholic
chocolate
beverage, yeah.
No, it is not.
Oh.
It is an actual. I mean, the cookie, the fudge rounds.
Mm.
You take
Ooh.
take the.
Okay.
No, you don't even need chocolate or graham cracker. You take the fudge round, cook your marshmallow, put it in between two, and boom, there's your s'more.
That I could be on board for that. Yeah.
We can't hear Mike. Mike is coming through Tabby's microphone.
For the past 2 years, that's the only way. Sorry, I was on mute. For the past 2 years, that's the only way we've made s'mores in our fire pit in the backyard. Is we just buy a pack of fudge rounds and a big bag of the giant marshmallows.
Yep.
And do that.
Oh,
Try
go. No, I'm going to try that too, because it seems less messy, because the chocolate always slides off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or her Tab's mom will buy us the marshmallows that has the chocolate center
Inside.
so you get double the chocolate.
Jeez.
I didn't know, and maybe you guys knew this, but I didn't know that graham cracker crumbs were so flammable.
Yeah.
So I say we
Only the
take
ones
graham
made in the
crackers
90s.
and
Yeah.
spread
made
them
of
out in
explodium.
designs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I obviously that was like graham cracker mixed with gunpowder or something like that, but who knows? So let's pull up a comfy chair and dive in to The Menu, 2022's The Menu. So IMDb lists this as comedy, horror, thriller.
Yeah, I saw that.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
so here's the thing. This movie came onto our list simply because, so Mike, when you reached out to me and said, hey, because I said, hey, you guys want to come back on? Yeah, of course. What movie do you guys want to do? And you wanted to do the 2013 remake of The Evil Dead. And at the time of you sending me that message, it was streaming. And at the new year, a bunch of stuff got taken off. This is like the second movie this year that we've had to change because it's no longer streaming.
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, it's not streaming anymore. And then it just so happens that Sam watched The Menu, I think like Monday of this week, right? And you said, hey.
Or no, Friday of last week.
Friday of last week, yeah. And said, hey, we should really do this movie. It's really interesting. And I said, oh, okay. So the only thing that I knew about it was that a bunch of people had watched it on Twitter and were commenting about how The Menu was really interesting and creative and whatever. And even just looking at the poster and seeing the little bit of the commercials that I've seen, I 100% assumed that this was like a cannibal movie, right? I thought that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were,
Like they were there to eat people, right? That this was some kind of culinary restaurant, right? Where every month, week, whatever he does when he opens his restaurant, because I didn't realize that because he says it in the movie, there are 6 days a week that they do this. This just happened to be the last night, but they're open all 6 days a week. So like I just assumed that this is like once a month everyone goes to this restaurant and it's super fancy, but everyone dies and you have to cook each other or something. Like that's what I thought was gonna be happening, and it's not that at all. Like at all. And I mean, it was probably halfway through the movie where I realized they're not going to be eating people in this thing. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Well, I had a similar thought about it too. When I forget which course number it was, but it was The Mess. That was the name of it. And when I saw them pulling the plastic curtain behind the guy, and then the plastic sheet down when he shot himself, and then a couple courses later, they brought out one of the dishes that had the bone marrow on it. I thought, oh shit, they cut this guy up, and this is him they're eating.
I thought it was like,
oh my gosh,
teams against each other, like eating each other, like eat your partner kind of thing too.
Yeah, I had no clue what this was really about. So fortunately, we are here. If you have not watched this movie and you are relying upon us to tell you whether you should or shouldn't watch it, well, bless you. But maybe you
Please
should
go
go watch
say-
it
first, though. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just so good.
Stop
Well-
listening right now and go watch it, and then come back and listen.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do think this is one of those where I think you kind of need to watch it to really appreciate what we're about to talk about. And Andrew is going to tell us exactly what it is that we are talking about.
All right, a young couple, which I got some beef with that, no pun intended, but a young couple travels to a remote island to eat in an exclusive restaurant where the chef has prepared a lavish menu with some shocking surprises.
What's your issue with young?
No, the issue is couple. They're not really a couple.
Well, we don't know
Well,
that yet, but
We don't know that. You have to infer, I think.
yeah.
Right?
Well,
You infer, but then you
there-
kind of get more
there
to
are
the
some
story
hints,
later
though.
on down the road.
there's some hints along the way because I kind of caught on fairly early that she was not, she was a lady of the night, because right as they were getting on the ship or the boat, whatever that was, the yacht, she said, "Your name is Mrs. whatever Westbrook or whatever the name was,"
Mhm.
and she said, "No." And it was awkward, and I thought, there's something up here. So I knew then that she was not his significant other.
Well, yeah, I mean that is kind of, and he keeps awkwardly commenting on her, like complimenting her, like, "Oh, well, you're the coolest girl here," and so it made me think like, there is something a little strange, like maybe a new girlfriend or something, someone like out of his league, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're better than I am, Andrew. I at no point thought she was that until she was like, "Yeah, I'm that." I was like, "Oh, okay." Because again, I was just waiting for people to get at, so I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that she was a professional, as you would say. By the way, she and I share a birthday, which is kind of cool.
Does she know that?
I don't think she knows that.
Oh, okay.
We
I'll
can
tell
make it
her.
known. Let's go.
Is it
Yeah.
Anya? How do you say it? Is
Yeah.
it Taylor Joy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Margot.
Amazing in Queen's Gambit. Amazing.
Yeah.
The only other movie I saw her in was New Mutants.
Oh,
Okay. We saw her in The Witch.
The Witch.
Yeah,
yes,
I told you,
see,
she was in The Witch.
I keep forgetting about The Witch.
Yeah, because you didn't like it. I
Well,
didn't
she was
like
a
it
kid
either,
in it,
but
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got them weird eyes.
She does have very piercing eyes.
You know what they are? I noticed it as they're very wide set.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
a-
And
Like a
I
Hammerhead
saw
shirt.
something not too I saw something not too long ago that said that people with very wide set eyes have a high IQ. I don't know if that's true. I didn't. Yeah,
Well, she
I didn't
plays
pull
chess
a-
really well.
she does.
So- Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess. I couldn't make it through the Queen's Gambit. I watched I think 3 episodes and just got so tired of it and just never finished it. So
I
anyway,
might have to give it a shot.
I guess
Yeah,
I
it's
will.
good.
Maybe I
I
don't know.
love it.
I have so
Yeah,
many
it's
other
really
things
good.
that Sam yells at me for not watching. That
Yeah, that's true.
that
You've never
You-
seen The Office.
I've
Yeah.
seen the first season of it.
And see, I got it.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that they made me watch for season 1, and I was like, "This is mean. I don't like this."
No, watch beyond that. You're fine.
Yeah, I just haven't because I haven't.
Or Game of Thrones.
I
up
watched
until
the
last
first season of that and the last
Yeah.
episode
Yeah. But
Where
there's
the-
so many good stuff that happened.
with the
In
Starbucks
the
cup.
middle.
Yeah.
I just got tired of it. Again, I
The
got tired.
best part is the middle.
Tabby, we've had this conversation.
I
All of the
know.
shows that you watch, you like because people are horrible to each other, and I don't like those shows.
There's a lot of death.
I don't care about death. I don't have a problem with death. It's just that, like, I mean, Star Wars has a lot of death, but
But it's like a chess game. Game of Thrones is literally
Yep.
like a chess game that 7 kingdoms are playing.
Except for in Game of Thrones, the queen needs dragons to help her win something.
Anyway, back to the menu.
I feel like Tabby's doing Andrew's job, is trying to keep us on the,
I know.
on the path here tonight. So yeah, and this was obviously everybody's first time viewing this, so this wasn't. I mean, Sam, did you rewatch it for this or no?
I actually did.
Nice.
I actually did. Because I finally got my wife to sit down and watch it with me.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that was really, really cool.
Did she like it? Because that'd be interesting.
Yes, she did.
All right.
Yes, she did.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What did you feel about the rewatchability?
I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But mainly because I watched it with her, right?
Yeah.
And I was waiting to see, especially after the menu, can't remember which course it was, the mess, right?
Yeah.
And she jumped because she just jumped. And sometimes it's fun watching a movie, with someone like that, or with things like that, it's coming. But the second time around, because I wanted to answer the question in my brain, why didn't they try to fight back?
Yeah.
That was the one that after the first viewing, it was bothering me that they didn't try to leave or try better as a group. I mean, they had 3 young guys there that could have done something, but they didn't try, and that was bothering me. They didn't try to
They were
fight
all
back.
bitches.
And I still didn't get quite the answer I was looking for the second time around, but it was still a lot of fun. It was still a lot of fun. Well, as fun as a movie about people getting burned alive gets to be.
Well, and
although they're setting up a sequel, right?
I didn't know that. Really? With who? Just different.
Well, no. The thing I noticed.
It's called the taco truck.
Well,
yeah. I mean, is it gonna be like Glass Onion, where there's a like, who would it be? I guess it would have to be her.
No,
right? Or just another.
I made a joke with my wife that, remember, he said his hands were asbestos. He had asbestos hands.
Yeah.
And that the fire couldn't touch him. So he's going to come out like Daenerys Targaryen and walk out of the restaurant alive and naked.
Naked.
I like it.
So
I'm okay with that.
Yes, Ralph Fiennes naked.
I have a pitch for a sequel.
Okay.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I do. So in the first one, obviously we have Lord Voldemort as the head chef. So in the sequel, I think we should use Bellatrix Lestrange. Helena Bonham Carter.
I was gonna say Daniel Radcliffe. Actually, I think
that would be plot twist. No, Daniel Radcliffe should be one of the guests at the restaurant.
I like it. I don't know why. So I watched the TV show The Rookie, and it stars Nathan Fillion, and he's an executive producer on it. So this is now, I think it's now in its 4th season, where he has the ability to just bring on friends of his into his show for cameos. So Alan Tudyk has been on at least an episode, if not 2. The girl that played his daughter from the show Castle was on the episode we watched last night. The woman that played his mother in Castle has been on an episode. Like, I don't remember if Adam Baldwin has been on this or not. Adam Baldwin was on an episode of Castle. I remember that, but I don't know if he's been on this show or not. But anyway, it's just kind of funny. I just like whenever you have an actor that's known for a one thing like that, like Nathan Fillion is known still for Firefly Serenity. Like, that's what he's still mostly known for. So like if Ray Fiennes here was like, making Voldemort references throughout the movie. Because again, to me, his affectation was Voldemort. He was just Voldemort cooking food.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's all I could see. Because it was almost the same way of talking. He just didn't have. He was using, I think, an American accent as opposed to a British accent. But
it was weird hearing Ralph Fiennes do an American accent, but you could hear his British trying to
poking through,
squeak through.
Trying to, yeah. It was desperately trying to come out.
Speaking of,
it's weird. Go ahead. Sorry,
I was going to say, speaking of desperately trying to come out, Sam, why don't you go ahead and give us your 5-word review?
Oh, okay. I only have one tonight, and it's not because I didn't like the movie. It's because I think it encapsulates what I thought, and it is a masterclass on ratcheting tension. This movie did such a great job of basically building a menu, and building to a climax that was just, I thought, incredible. the way she was able to escape was brilliant. Each course and the idea that each course kind of started twisting the knife early, right? You got the bread course, the breadless course that went into the what was after the breadless course? The tortillas, right, with the pictures of what they do wrong on them.
Taco night, yeah.
You've got the mess. You've got it just kept getting more and more and more tension, and the guy losing his finger. I just love this. I had a blast, and I thought it was an interesting story. I do have a problem with the ending, and only so far that if I was at one of those tables, I would have been trying to escape. I would hope I would. I would be, even if the chefs had knives. You saw them at the very end there. They all had knives standing at the doorways. I would much rather die from a knife wound than I think burning alive. So
that's what I was just about.
Right. So that's the only problem I have, is that they didn't quite delve into the idea of why they didn't fight. And I guess they left that for us to question. I'm not 100% sure. But I think Ralph Fiennes, I think he channels his Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter, incredibly well in this movie. The guy doesn't blink. He's emotionless to a certain extent. And it's a cult, right? I compared this when I was talking to my wife about it to Midsummer, right? Where this felt like, the fish out of water, where the diner is coming into this restaurant, and having to kind of live in this world with them. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I even enjoyed it the second time around.
Well, and really, Margot, Anya Joy Taylor Johnson, whatever her name is, she really is the fish out of water, right? Because everyone else kind of belongs there, right?
High class.
Yeah, high class, a lot of money. That one couple that's been there like 11 times. Like all of those people can afford to be there. And she was really our eyes for the movie experiencing this, because as she's going, what is happening? The rest of us in our chairs are going, what is happening? Whereas that one food critic is like, oh, it's all part of the act. That guy just shot himself. It's fine. Those are squibs and special effects. And that guy lost a finger. Oh, it's all part of the act. Like, she was so delusional. She couldn't see what was happening in front of her.
It seemed like she thought, oh, hey, this is dinner theater.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just trying to play into that.
Well, again, like you said, she was delusional.
Yeah.
I mean, she had put herself so high on a pedestal of everything is made for me and this is mine.
I mean, I got that too. I mean, well, she obviously mentioned that, but from my perspective is I took it as, oh, she's assuming this is, dinner theater. She's been to one of these before. So she's just under the impression that this is happening again. But it's more of a suspenseful ride for her, because she doesn't know going into it that she's assuming it's just a dinner. Then all this stuff happens, and she thinks it's dinner theater because of the mess dish.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where that's a squib. Okay, cool. This is dinner theater. Well, let's play along. I'll play along. I'm into this bit. She thinks the whole thing is a bit until later on in the film.
The thing that I don't get, one thing that I don't get, the couple that's been there 11 times, they know this is not dinner theater, and they're not
part of it. Yeah.
Right.
Although he did try, he was adamant about leaving too.
Yeah. Well, that's true. He was the first one that was.
He was the only one to really get injured trying to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of thought that there would be more injuries of people trying to, escape or get out early than that one little phalange.
Yeah. Yeah. I
mean, it was in their gift bag. So, I mean,
yeah, he did put it in the gift bag, which is hysterical at the end. I just, the ending made me laugh because he made them pay. Like the
Pay to die.
Yeah.
yeah,
basically.
even the guy goes, no, the magazine will pay for this.
And do you think that because in my mind, I thought that they were all putting their cards on the table and their money and all this, thinking that, okay, she's messed up this whole evening for him because of her cheeseburger. And so maybe if we just pay, he'll let us go. That's kind of how I looked at it.
It felt like to me that once she was able to leave, because even the woman kind of gives her permission, like, go.
Yeah.
It felt like at that point, everyone had just accepted that we're going to die here. This is just the way it is. And you're not wrong, especially the hide and go seek scene, which was, again, kind of weird for me, because it's like there was no consequence of it other than they ran. I mean, literally the whole purpose of the scene was just to get the women together to talk. So she was like, "Hey, you know my husband, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I know your husband." Okay. Like there was no other point other than, and then to have the joke where the guy's hiding in the chicken coop and then is given an egg for being the last one found. But like, to your point, part of me thinks, well, those three guys, maybe if they stay together and do the boat thing together, maybe they get a shot. That there was, I don't know. You're not wrong, guys. It is kind of weird. I mean, the movie does say, they kind of make fun of itself, right? When the guy's like, I'm surprised you guys didn't try to fight sooner.
Yeah, they actually did say it. Yeah, which I think is what got into my brain. Like, why aren't they leaving?
Yeah, why haven't you tried? I mean, you're not wrong. Those three guys were not dude bros, right? Those are, Wall Street douchebags.
I think that they were Wall Street douchebags and they were riding coattails of what's his
The
face?
angel investor.
The angel, what got drowned. Yeah.
So they were just there, like they were his hype men. So they were like, "Yeah, do whatever you want to, dude. Just keep giving us money."
Yeah. No, you're right. Again, like those were young dudes, but I think any one of those three guys if any one of them is challenged physically, they would back down in an instant because, like I said, I think those were just Wall Street douchebags. The only guy, I mean, none of those men in there were, strapping whatever. I mean, even John Leguizamo, which we know him from movies where he can be a badass, he's still just an actor.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
Pulls a hammy running away.
And in real life, he's an actor.
He is both a actor in real life and in the movie. I always love it when actors play actors. It's always kind of fun. It's a little fourth wall breakage, a little bit. And his dialogue with his assistant was some of my favorite. And again, it's one of the things I captured, which I'm very happy about. All right, whose turn for a 5-word review? Andrew.
Okay, I'm going to give mine, but don't. I'm going to beg of you one thing, just one. Don't listen, hear, comprehend, and perceive. All right. Sorry.
That was good. I appreciate that.
Thank you. So my review here again is probably not 5 words. I don't know. I just wrote some stuff. An enjoyable yet uneasy film with a great mouthfeel.
Oh, nice.
Don't ever say mouthfeel again.
I agree with
that. Yeah. This movie I feel like is almost a love letter or hate mail, maybe. Hate mail is a better word, to everybody who goes to a restaurant and takes a picture of their food, and it's all very superficial. And as I was watching this, I thought, you know what? I kind of do those things. I don't just enjoy. I mean, I don't do it very often, but I know people that every meal that they eat, there's a picture of it somewhere, pretty much. That might be a little stretch, but and there's nothing wrong with taking a picture of a pretty dish, but do we really sit and enjoy food and the experience of eating the way that we could? Now, some of us probably do that too much. Like I'm probably guilty of
Yes.
that. But there's kind of I don't know. There's a whole culture right now of we just kind of we like it for what it is, and it's cool. It's kind of a fad, you know. But anyway, this movie I felt like kind of hate mail to those people in some ways.
I think it's a lot of ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of, Andrew, and I'm gonna cut in just a little bit. Think of it in the music world.
Yeah.
Think of it with some of the composers nowadays that are composing for critics or for snobs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like this movie was saying, the love is gone. It's all analytical and it's all just, theory rather than making music for fun and for enjoyment. And I could see that in that world as well. Maybe that's the sequel.
Maybe so.
a musician.
Yeah.
It's like
sorry, go ahead.
No,
I was gonna say I just like the way he said eat, taste. He said don't eat, taste.
Yeah.
Taste your food. And I think that's in today's society is like people don't sit down with each other and taste food and enjoy each other's company is kind of what the direction of it was as well, is we just shovel food into our mouths and keep going with our busy day instead of sitting down and enjoying each other's company and the food that is in front of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess in a lot of ways, we kind of do that with the many things in life other than food. We just we don't enjoy it for what it is. We kind of take things for granted. And I think that's, again, they're kind of poking fun or sending hate mail to those people and to that culture.
Yeah, especially the people that listen to our podcast on 1.5 times speed.
I do that. Sorry.
We can relate.
You need to sit and enjoy my voice. No, I'm just teasing.
That's way we can entertain them.
But anyway, I had a really good time watching this. I thought it was a good movie, and I expected it to be because, like you, I saw a lot of good things on Twitter and social media about it, and went into it with some high expectations. I won't say that it does have some rewatchability factors, which is what I was kind of digging into with you earlier, Sam, that the second time through, it's kind of like a whodunit film in some ways that you already know what's going to happen. So there's a little less anxiety. There's a little less freshness in the second time through.
Yeah.
Because I did watch a little bit of it again, just to catch a few things that I may have missed the first time, and it wasn't as fun the second time. But it's still good, and it still was very clever. And the way that she escapes finally there at the end, I think you mentioned already, was just so smart. And I feel like she began to. She was the one, like whoever said it, she was the fish. Sean said this. She's the fish out of water. I think she related to the chef more than anybody else there, and she kind of saw, and he kind of saw the same thing in her, that they are the servant class, and they don't get what they deserve, and so there was a little bit of coexistence there between the two of them. For a little while, and I think that there was a little bit of a relationship. That the thing that I didn't understand was the scene where he asks her to go to get the barrel, and the other lady that was there, kind of as the hostess, she said, he didn't tell me anything about the barrel. I knew nothing about it. So. Was he trying to replace her like she thought he was, or
I think she was just crazy, honestly.
or was he was just trying to I don't know what he was trying to do there.
I think he was trying to test her, honestly, in my opinion. I think he was trying to test to see how far she would go. Like, if you want to make it out, like I think he's seen that she had the power to actually like leave and get away. He was just wanting her to find it on her own strength.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, because the idea of being replaced again doesn't make sense. It's the one thing that the movie does that kind of annoys me. This is really my only part, and this is the Hans complex that we've talked about before, is that people are acting on camera in ways that they normally wouldn't because we now know the outcome, right?
Right.
So when she says you can't replace me, you know that after tonight there's nothing happening. So she can't replace you because you're both going to die at the end of the night. So even if he picks her to be the new hostess of the island, it's only going to be for about 30 more minutes. So her to say that is
my honest opinion is that that was an addition by the producers network studio to basically say you need an action set in this piece.
Well, yeah, if you're going to have a final girl moment, we need to have her get bloodied up a little bit. There could be that. I don't know. It also just could be, like you said, they're a cult. And maybe she honestly thought, even in the last moments, she wants to be the one standing next to Chef when the curtain goes up. And she didn't want Margot to be that. So maybe it could be both.
Mm-hmm.
It was still a cool fight scene. I'm not gonna lie.
So
I kind of enjoyed it.
I have a bit of a theory, and I was wondering if the only reason that Margot chose to be with Chef and the rest of the cooks was because after everyone was told everyone dies tonight. Do you think that maybe she assumed that all the guests are the ones that die, and that she was trying to join up? She was going to go with Chef so she could live.
Did she choose? I don't think she chose.
She did say, she did choose, and then he rescinded that choice. Yeah. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
Do you think that that's why she chose Chef and his group? Because she didn't want to die. She was assuming it was a way out and a way of survival.
I don't. My opinion on that take.
It was just a thought.
I know, but my rebuttal for that is she's seen herself as one of the hands, one of the persons who actually like worked for what they created, what they did. She didn't see herself as one of the hoity-toity jagoffs sitting at the table who bossed everybody around, even though she was there as one of those people, but she really deep down inside didn't feel herself as one of those people, where she was one of the workers, one of the behind the scenes kind of people.
Like your average, these are just line cooks. These are your average typical blue collar,
which is where she's seen herself in that position.
I'm in this group. So this is my people.
So she connected with them on a different level. Like she connected with them on a personal level compared to, I'm here with this guy because he gave me $2,000 to come here, or I watched the old man whack off and made $2,000 with that guy.
What do you guys think?
I kind of felt like she was probably, in my opinion, in the moment where he says, are you one of them or are you one of us? And at this point, Tyler had already pissed her off a couple times. And because I think at that point he had already called her a child.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so for me, there might have been a survival thing, because it kind of feels like in the moment, it kind of does feel like, well, if I say I'm with him, then maybe just the guests are the ones that die tonight. And, I can be part, because when he proposed that suggestion to her, that's honestly kind of where I thought that this movie was going to go, was that the diners were going to be killed off one at a time, and You know,
She was gonna have to kill the last one.
Yeah, she was gonna have to kill Tyler or something,
Yeah.
and then now she takes over as the head hostess, or whatever, and then that's just kind of how this island works. Again, I at no point saw this being a Kool-Aid scenario where the cult all kills themselves. Like, I never saw that coming at all, and I was pleasantly surprised with that. And honestly, I mean, I called it. I referred to it as cheeseburger porn earlier today. Like, watching him make that cheeseburger that's like 2.5 minutes of the movie of no dialogue of him making a cheeseburger, and I thought, this is some of the best movie of film making I've ever seen. It was really
Sean
great.
got a chub.
Yeah.
Sean got
You
a
know,
chub on that one.
A little bit of a
Cheeseburger chub.
little cheeseburger thing happening there. Yeah.
Oh, I got a cheeseburger chub. Well, I still want to eat that cheeseburger.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And
That
even
looks
when she
so good.
even when she took it to go, which I thought was so clever.
Yeah.
She's like, "Can I take it to go?" And he's like, "Okay." And like he gives her a gift bag and the box. I mean, it was all very lovely. I just love the idea. Really, I love the idea that, again, he knows this is the last meal ever, but we have crinkle fries.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they have everything.
but they
They've
do
got
have
everything.
everything. I mean, and it's a fully functioning restaurant, and they would be
Yeah.
stocked for whatever.
I liked how when she did the cheeseburger, when she made that order, she reverted back to when she saw the photo of him. And
That's why she
her-
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she knew that she
That was
instantly
her
knew
way
this is
out.
gonna break him. If
Yeah.
I do this, that's gonna break him, and this is my out.
It's
and
called-
I'm gonna take it.
It's called bringing back repressed childhood trauma
Mhm.
to hit those heartstrings and bring
Well,
that out of.
Well,
I
it's-
don't.
But for
Right.
him, it wasn't the
It's
childhood.
a trope, though, isn't it? Isn't that a
Right.
trope in movies, right? That they used in this one, where you bring back a memory that makes the bad guy change his mind or do something
Yeah.
different.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it wasn't like, in that case, it actually wasn't a childhood trauma. It was, I mean, it was the
Good
only
memory.
picture of him smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Like-
was happy.
Yeah, it was it was
Yeah.
it was actually a childhood fondness. And so that's when she says, "I want a cheeseburger." And I love how she challenged him, though. Was I thought it was brilliant. Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't think you can make a cheeseburger." And she's like, "Not one of your weird things, your weird creations. I want an American cheeseburger." And he goes, "Okay." And she says, and he's like, "What kind of cheese you want?" And she says, "I want American." He goes, "Because it's the best, because the cheese doesn't crack when you melt it." And I
Yeah,
thought,
right.
oh, that probably is actually why it's always American cheese. So
And I don't think that when she made that order and he was listening to her talk about it,
Mhm.
he looked like he was repressing something or trying to hold back. But at the same time, when you watched him make it and create it, you could see him kind of having that nostalgic feel where he's like, oh man, this really takes me back to a happier time in my life. And I get to kind of recreate this and go back and revisit that part of my life where I was happy.
yeah,
And I get to bring that back and to now and do that for somebody else.
But she also
Yeah.
talked to him like he was a human, like
Yeah.
on the same level. Like she wasn't scared of him. Like she didn't have any. Yes, she said yes, chef a couple of times, but it was more along the lines of ugh, yes, chef, instead of everybody else yes, chef, like military grade, and
Like
she
the line cooks were.
right, or even the guest did, but she
Yeah.
she talked to him like, hey, cards are on the table. You talk to me that way, I'm gonna talk to you that way. We're gonna eat level out here.
Humanize the goons.
Yep.
Humanize the goons.
So going back to his childhood trauma,
Mhm.
that was another thing that I felt was a little awkward, was his mother being in the restaurant, and it just felt a little out of place for me, and I didn't really understand the relationship, and I didn't understand because she was just drunk the whole time.
Yes.
And is there a reason he wants her to die?
I think there is a reason, but they don't really hone in on what.
Maybe she was there supporting him the entire time and he wanted her there at the final.
Or does it go back to when he was telling the story about his father?
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Does it kind of connect those two? Like his mom was a part of this, except when he was younger, dad died, mom lived, but mom was involved on this traumatic experience that he went through in his younger years as a kid. But mom is still alive, so now this is kind of a chance to, take mom out too, without her knowing.
It kind of felt like a Psycho scene, where like mom is always watching and he has to take orders from her or whatever. I don't know. There was a strange relationship that isn't really ever explained. I mean, like when Margot basically says, "I'm not eating your food because this isn't food. This is just, liquid dots, whatever." Like that's when he walks over and he puts his head on her and kind of has a meditation moment with her and then yells at his
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A very weird, awkward moment.
But I mean, again, this
like,
is also a guy that's leading a cult of cooks who are willing to die. I mean, when that lady cook stabbed him with those scissors, those paring scissors, shears, whatever they're called, I thought she stabbed him in the junk first of all.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
That's what I told Tab. I said, "Oh my God, she just stabbed his penis."
Well, that's what I
And
thought
then-
that was the point, right? Because she was like, he tried to have sex with me, and I said no, and then he tried again, and I said no, and he tried again, and he said no, and then eventually he stopped, and he felt shame, and I didn't leave when I should have, and so then she stabs him, and he just kind of hunches over, and I'm like, oh, she just cut his junk off, and then he pulls it out of his leg, and I was like, oh, it hurts, but that's.
I think that was a cop out, honestly.
I do too. I think he
I
should have
think
gotten
they should've-
stabbed in the dick. I really do.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense and would have been.
I have a theory on that too.
Wait, I was
But go ahead.
How many theories do you have, Mike?
Wait, I've got one though that she stabbed him in the thigh to set up for the next course, which was the chicken thigh.
Well, that's okay. That's true.
No, the course that was
Yeah.
before the. I thought the chicken thigh was before.
No,
the-
you're right. The
It-
chicken
yeah,
was
it
after.
was. No, it was before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it had the scissors in it.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like that was planned. Like he knew she was going to stab him in the thigh.
My theory is
Another theory.
is she was trying to stab him in his junk, but she missed. They were locking eyes. She wasn't looking where she was going with.
Oh, I
with
know where the
scissors.
junk is. I'd
Yeah,
stab you right
I-
in it.
She
I bet
But
you
she was
Tabs
so
could
caught up
stab
in the
you in the
moment.
nuts right now if she wanted to with blindfolded. I'm just saying.
well, after 13 years of marriage, it's not hard to figure out where they are or are not. But no, what I'm saying is
Aim for the knees.
she was locked on him and she just moved her hand towards his junk, but she missed. She didn't mean to stab him in the leg.
She's a bad shot.
She's just a bad shot.
I don't know. I can't go there. For a person that is as precise as he is and expects perfection from whatever,
That's valid.
you know,
That's valid.
when you're having to slice little bitty things and what all the stuff, I that was, I think, intentional. I think that to call back to the leg, the chicken breast taco thing.
That
But I'm with you guys. I still would have rather have seen his, I mean, hell, I don't care if you get graphic. I don't care if it shows her reach down his pants and snip, and then like shows it to him. Like whatever. Because it was
I think. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying because the purpose of it was a punishment for him being a gross dude. So I'm okay with it, really. Stab him in the dick. Anyway, before we get any further with more dick things, Mike, why don't you do your 5-word review? Because we haven't done yours yet.
My 5-word review.
My
My 5-word review is as follows. It was suspenseful, funny, confusing, wild ride.
All right. What you got, Tabs?
I don't like your food.
Oh, nice.
I
Nice.
loved that line.
It was great. And then the best part was when she ended it with, and I'm still hungry.
Yep.
Oh, I loved it. I loved that.
I would have
line.
done that, but it was only 4 words.
Yeah. Well, you could do 4 because I have 2, and one of them actually is only 4 words. I like to build credit for Andrew because he usually goes over. So my first one was clever horror movie with food, and the second one is it's a play on the whole dinner and a show, and that's just I guess I could say a dinner. So that's your 5 words. A dinner and a killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what this movie kind of reminds me of is Midsummer. You know, you have this.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Yeah.
Oh, you just. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
Must have missed that.
but I'm glad.
It does. Sorry,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
it does. It does have a Midsummer feel. The other part that it reminded me of, and it feels like more movies are doing this, is did you guys watch, any of y'all watch Hunger Games? Not Hunger Games. Did you guys watch Squid Games?
Yes.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm that actually surprised me, Tab. You love watching people suffer. I was surprised you
I
would.
do.
That movie, that show is
You
right
like
up your
Squid
alley.
Game. Yeah.
Well, we haven't watched it yet, I should say.
I mean, I can get Gunner up here. He could tell you all about Squid Games.
yes, our 9-year-old son who is familiar
Oh,
with.
good Lord.
Well, my 10-year-old knows about it too because the kids at his school watched it and told him
Mhm.
about it.
Yeah.
I mean, like they got his whole class got in trouble because they were playing Squid Game. They were playing red light, green light. It's just that they had two kids on the opposite sides of the red light, green light person pretending to shoot down people that are moving.
That's awesome.
Well, I
love
think-
it.
I think we were all playing red light, green light 30 years before Squid Game came out.
That's,
Yeah, but were you playing like
Oh yeah.
yeah, but when the
difference is you
person
don't get
turns
shot.
around, you just
No one
walk
dies.
back to the start. You don't die.
right?
Like in my son's case, they would go, okay, you die, and you just lay down. You would fall down like you've been shot, and then you can't play anymore. And then there was a couple of other games that they played from the show. He described them, and I'm like, I mean, it wasn't just that tug of war. You know, it's tug of war and you die. And so I was like, how do you know this stuff? And he goes, because my classmates watch this stuff. I'm like, how do they have access to this? And he says, because my son literally says, because their parents don't care what they watch.
Can I change my 5-word review?
Okay.
Voldemort is a pretentious chef.
I like it.
Because
Fair.
Ralph Fiennes is Lord Voldemort.
Yeah.
How hard was it, like, when he starts speaking, his first few lines in the film, you're like, oh my God, that's Voldemort.
Mhm.
I hear it.
Oh, yeah.
That's him.
Absolutely.
The smile, the tone in his voice, that's Voldemort. He's trying to hold it back.
That monologue that I captured, one is long, I apologize, but I liked it because it just sounds like Voldemort is lecturing the Death Eaters on how to eat food.
He's teaching the Death Eaters how to be Death Eaters.
Yeah. Yeah.
nice.
Savor your death eating.
Yes.
Exactly.
Don't eat your death. Taste your death.
Yeah. Don't just eat it. Taste the death. Enjoy it. Savor it. But like in that monologue, again, one of the reasons why I captured it is the monologue kind of tells you what's going to happen. He goes, you're going to experience this island, and you're going to, which they did. They were there. Like they got to experience kind of all of the island. And then he says, and forgive. And acceptance. That was the other thing. Acceptance and then forgiveness. And that's what they did. I mean, literally up until he drops the coals to light the gunpowder graham cracker, like when he says whatever, he says something, I forgot the line, and they all repeat, thank you, chef. Like they're just like okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I read an article today because I was hung up on why they didn't leave. And the director mentioned that the people who stayed fully bought into the menu by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That they had basically been not brainwashed per se, but the cult of personality had overtaken them as well.
So they turned into Tyler at the end of the movie.
Basically, yeah.
That makes a little sense, but I don't know that if I were one of those people that I would have been swayed that easily.
No.
I'd take out like at least half of the chefs in the back, just trying to get out.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I'm with you. It's like you kind of want to, but again, I don't know. Do these people really have something to live for? I don't know. I mean, the only one I really felt bad for was the assistant.
Yeah. She was only there on his dime and to kind of like be an arm piece.
Well, she was the
Yeah.
assistant. No. I wouldn't say an arm piece. I mean, she was his executive assistant. I mean, he kind of feels like a guy that can't function without that kind of
Assistance?
person in his life. But like, her only crime was not having student loans.
Right.
Right.
But
Yeah.
to Brown, you have to
Well,
understand.
he's a Yale guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking more Stanford.
or maybe Cornell or something.
I don't know.
There you go. Cornell.
It's just, but that line made me laugh. I mean, this movie
Mhm.
had moments where I laughed more than
Yeah.
I expected to.
Oh yeah.
And which is, I think, maybe why on IMDb, humor is first. Which, by the way, so we kind of made the joke about it. So earlier with Daniel Radcliffe, the role of the movie star was originally written for Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh
Like-
wow.
That would have been awesome.
Hold on. Are you telling me that Voldemort's role was written for Harry Potter?
No.
No. The
John
movie
No,
star,
no,
John
no. The
Leguizamo.
movie star John.
Oh,
Yeah.
John. Oh my God, that would have been
amazing.
pretty cool.
And the
That would've been
oft
cool.
maligned movie that they were going to reference was going to be the Victor Frankenstein movie. And then when John Leguizamo was cast, the movie was changed to Calling Dr. Sunshine.
Oh,
Because Daniel
yeah.
Radcliffe was
Was
in Igor.
Yep.
Igor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Igor.
this is
It's-
cool. I didn't realize this. Okay, here we go. The 7 sins are covered by the 6 tables plus staff. Greed, Soren. Dave and Bryce, who embezzled, gluttony. Tyler, who was willing to die for his food lust.
Lust.
Richard, who's a cheater, envy. George, who's a washed up name dropper, pride. Lillian and Ted, who believe the dinner is just for them, sloth. Julian's mother, who did nothing to stop her husband's abuse, wrath. Julian and the other chefs who murder everyone. I said that wrong. I said that incorrectly. But you know what I'm saying. Wrath.
Yeah.
Julian and
Mhm.
the other chefs who murder everybody.
Yeah, no, we
Sloth.
got you.
Julian's mother for not doing it. I put the emphasis on the wrong part of the sentence.
That's awesome.
But it is kind of neat that they did that. That was there.
Sean, you just blew my mind.
that is awesome.
Well, IMDb blew your mind. All I did was read it.
Hey, I give
It
you
is cool.
credit. I give you credit, Pally.
Also, sorry, just kind of another thought that I had that just kind of along the same lines is I wondered if the movie is set up like a meal. You know, we get that amuse-bouche at the beginning of the introduction of these characters and them getting on the boat, right?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
we get the first course of, we're getting to the island. I don't know. I didn't dissect the movie that well, but I wondered after I'd watched a little bit of it the second time if it is kind of set up that way.
I like that. That's cool.
I have to watch this again now.
Yeah,
I have to.
totally.
That's 2 mind-blowing things back to back. I have to see this again. I have to.
So you guys remember a little while ago, and this was a while ago. This was like September when we watched The Gentleman.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, man, I can't wait to watch this movie again. I was so excited. Like it had been a while since a movie we had reviewed made me excited to watch it again. So I actually watched it again not that long ago, like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and really, really enjoyed it as much the second time as I
the second
did.
time.
The-
Yeah.
Knowing,
That's the Matthew McConaughey British.
yeah,
um,
the pot thing that
pot
was
thing, yeah.
the Guy Ritchie
Tracksuit
film.
Mafia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the actual Tracksuit Mafia, but yes. But that episode is named that. Thank you for that. But I'm saying that because like as I got finished with this movie, and the fact that you watched it with your wife, Sam, is really interesting because it's like I wonder if I could. I think I could watch this with Sarah because the violence isn't that crazy,
No.
and it might be something that I try to watch again. You know, in a little while. You know, in a few weeks or something, or honestly next week because the movie we're doing next week I have already seen twice. I don't really know if I want to watch it a third time, but we'll discuss that later. All right. Anything else before I get to clips?
Nothing here.
All right. Because I just realized that I haven't really even talked about our notes. We just dove right into this movie, which is really cool. And I didn't take that many notes. I did a few. And I kind of mentioned like what was the point of the chase? Just to be dicks. Let's see. Wow, shut up and eat. That was that line that Beast said to what's your face? And I also thought, oh, and Andrew, to your point, you said that you knew that you kind of could tell that there was something up between them when he didn't know her last name.
Yeah.
And I thought that was I just thought that was just a douchebag move. I didn't quite realize that. Oh, it's because she's
Well,
paid.
it wasn't that he didn't know her last name. He didn't know her name at all.
Yeah.
When
I really liked the fact that she was like, he goes, who, when Chef says, who are you? I'm Margot. You don't look like a Margot. I have fed Margot's. You're not a Margot. I like the fact that he could tell. He could just tell. I like that.
Well, I think he already knew, because if you think about those tortillas and the older gentleman and the wife says, "Who's this woman in the picture?" Is that not her?
I guess it would be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be anybody. I mean,
it could be anybody, but I just assumed.
Are you okay, Sam?
Her. Yes. Sorry.
You look like either Kimberly has just pepper sprayed you, or you have found the funniest thing on the planet. Like, what is happening?
Oh, you'll see here in a second.
Oh, is it a new background you're about to unveil on us?
Yeah. Once it loads up.
Okay. Well, for the podcast listeners, I guess you're going to have to go to YouTube and find out what Sam is
check
laughing
out
at.
YouTube.
Can I just say that I found it very, very awkward that the older lady looked at her husband and said, "Why does that look like our daughter?"
Well, that was the horrible part, right? That was, especially the second time around, you realize,
Ew.
Yeah, how gross that actually was.
And why she ran away.
So, yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that part. I must have missed that some part where the fact that the daughter ran away. I thought she died or something, but the fact.
No, I want to say it's when they brought the tortilla shells out, and she was like, "Why does that look like our daughter? Have you been seeing our daughter or something?
Yeah.
Have you talked to her?" And he's like, "No, not since she's left or something."
Well, and when they first sit down, she even says she kind of looks like our daughter. He's like, "Stop obsessing." Yeah. You're right. I must have just missed that one line, but the dude man deserved to lose a finger and other parts. So
Agreed.
I don't feel bad for him at all. At all. All right, I'm going to play a few clips here, and I like I just captured this because I love the last phrase that she says here.
Dinner is typically 4 hours and 25 minutes. Each day ends at well past 2 in the morning. So yes, it's best that we all live here.
You guys ever get burnt out or?
Burned out?
Yeah, sorry. Like tired of doing the same thing.
Chef holds himself to the highest standard, and so do we. We never burn anything unless by design. To make delicious.
To make delicious. I love that phrase. I don't know why. I like that phrase. Oh, Sam has found a picture and has changed his background to something horrific. I don't know what's happening.
Ralph Fiennes beating up a ginger kid.
Is that what that is? Why?
So it's Voldemort beating up Ron Weasley.
Is that what's happening? It looks like it's an angry hug or something.
Yeah.
You know who I thought that was? I thought that was the guy that plays the Punisher in the Netflix series.
Yeah.
John Bernthal.
John Bernthal.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's another one. That's
This is terrifying.
Oh my God.
That kid's mouth is just not right. I don't like that.
Oh my God, no.
Sam, don't lean down anymore. That's terrifying. Okay.
My God.
Well, while we all
That's
relish,
you know who that is? That's older Prince Harry.
Yeah.
Yelling at his past self.
Yeah, right.
That's what that looks like.
I hate you for that.
You son of a bitch.
All right, Sam, seriously, it's going to give me nightmares. You got to get rid of that.
I want to marry Megan.
No,
you don't.
I do.
She will ruin the family. No, she's really hot.
She's the best I could do.
Ron Weasley has come to die.
All right. I can't play clips until we move past this. So, any other ones you got there, Andrew?
No.
All right.
Oh,
Good. This is the eat line.
Please eat. The menu only makes sense if you eat.
But you told us not to eat.
That is not what I meant, madam. You know it.
I love that. She just throws it back at him. But you told us not to eat. It's such a child answer.
He says the menu only makes sense if you eat. And I wonder if they hadn't have eaten, would he have finished the meal? I mean, would finish the menu?
No. Well, maybe that's why it worked on her. Like, it didn't work on her because she didn't eat.
Yeah.
Her the boyfriend. Oh my god, or not the boyfriend, but the guy. Just, it's so funny. Like, especially when you think back to all of his actions, and then knowing that he knows. I mean, he knew that he was going there to die.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It really is, and he was all for it. I mean, like, even when it was time for the men to run away, he didn't, because he knew there was no point. Like, he knows that, it doesn't matter. Like, he just hung out there at the place.
And he totally deserved to get, I mean, she hit him. It wasn't a slap. That was a closed fist nail. And he totally deserved it. I loved it. I loved it.
She clocked him pretty hard.
Yeah.
I think it was the fact that he accepted that this is the chef that I've wanted to taste his food. I finally get to taste his food and I can die happy. But then when he brought him to the kitchen and embarrassed him, that's when he was just like, okay, I've failed chef, so let me go hang myself in the freezer.
His suicide felt very forced. Not from an actor character perspective or an actor perspective, but from a character perspective. Like, chef knew what was going to happen. He planned this out. He's like, I'm going to humiliate this guy who is obsessed with me.
I think it was because he interrupted him so much and he kissed his ass so much. He was like, well, if you think you know Bergamot, then cook me something.
But not to the point of, I'm going to embarrass him so much I'm going to make him hang himself in my meat cooler.
Oh, I think that was the plan the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said, like, we corresponded. You wrote me letters. Like, he knew that this guy was obsessed with him. Like, I think he brought him there specifically so that he could do this, to prove to him, just because you know our language doesn't mean that you know how to talk like us.
Yeah.
And I think that was 100% done on purpose. And I loved that scene. The tension is, I mean, like, it's like Chef Gordon Ramsay, only if the contestant, instead of losing a game, goes and hangs themselves. I mean, it was great. I loved it. And when he takes a bite, I haven't captured one of his insults, but like when he takes a bite and goes, "This is absolutely awful." It was amazing.
So you think Tyler was so obsessed with Chef that when Chef humiliated him to the point of trying his food and telling him how bad it was, he knew, if I say this, that's going to make him kill himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it's like, from the movie Serenity, right? For men who have failed as completely as you, older civilized, civilizations would fall on their swords.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, you have failed so utterly. There's nothing for you. Like, you don't deserve to die with the rest of us. So you got to go do it by yourself in the freezer.
Well, you've changed my mind on that whole bit. Then, yeah, no, I get that. Okay.
And I also
I see it like that now.
And I also love that Anya Joy Taylor has zero remorse. She sees him, looks up and down, keeps on going. Like,
yep.
Yeah, he's better off. What a douche. All right. By the way, I was just reading, and Andrew, you're 100% right. I was reading in the trivia here. much of Margot and Tyler's early conversation takes on an entirely different light when it's revealed that they're not a couple. And Margot is a escort he hires. From Margot cheerfully commenting that Tyler is paying not just for their meal, as originally implied, to Tyler lamenting that he hadn't spent time with a woman like Margot before, their dialogue is peppered with double meanings and foreshadowings.
Tyler died a virgin.
I mean,
It's possible.
it's fathomable.
I don't know. I mean, he did have a girlfriend who broke up with him, which made me wonder, like, because Chef had originally wanted her to go. So, like, what was her sin?
He had to have had a story too.
Yeah,
right?
what was her sin other than dating this douchebag? You know, because I mean, some of the sins in that room weren't really all. I mean, he killed the actor because he made a bad movie. I mean, it's a good thing he didn't invite Nicolas Cage there, right? Like,
You can say that again.
Oh.
All right. Speaking of movies, here we go. This is one that I'm proud of. So here we go. I love this bit.
If you were leaving, which you're not, what will you be leaving for?
Associate Development Co-Exec.
What the hell's that?
It's in development, so I'd be developing or helping to develop things.
Why would that be better than working for me?
Okay. So as soon as that scene happened, Sam and Andrew know this about me. I love The West Wing and have watched it at least once a year for the last 5 years. This same bit happens in The West Wing. This exact same thing. So I went and captured it. So here is the exact same bit in The West Wing.
I'll come right out with it, CJ. I'm a big fan.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I think there's a place for you in our company.
Doing what?
Development.
What's that?
Development of projects.
What's that mean?
You be developing feature projects.
Movies.
Yeah.
You know what? You don't want me. You want Toby or Sam. I'm not a writer.
No, we have writers.
Well, I certainly can't direct or act.
No, you just be in development.
And what's that?
Shepherding projects, developing them.
I thought a guy writes a movie and a guy directs a movie.
Sure.
And in between there are designers and technicians and actors.
Yes.
So tell me what I do again?
Development.
Okay. Well, at the moment I have a pretty good job and I understand what it is.
Okay, so that's the bit. I love that bit. I love it. I do like it when Hollywood kind of makes fun of itself a little bit. And as soon as, because even Leguizamo, who is an actor, who is in that business, doesn't know what development means. I love that. So that cracks me up. All right, I was very proud of that one. All right. Now, this line was said a bunch of times, and after the third time, I was thinking about doing a supercut of this, but then I realized that that's just more effort than I'm willing to put into this podcast. So you're only going to get it one time.
Please sit. It's all part of the menu.
Harry. It's all part of the menu. That line was probably said 7 or 8 times.
Yeah.
And not just by him, by other people too. It's all part of the menu. But like I said, after about the third one, I was like, oh, I'm not going to do this. So that's the one you get. This is him mocking Tyler, and this made me laugh.
Leeks.
Get to cook some leeks. Leeks. This is your station here. What else? Shit. Would you like some shit?
Shallots.
Shallots for the great foodie, the phenomenal Mr. Food himself. Everyone gather around. We must learn from Tyler. This is a new dicing method of which we have been woefully ignorant. What next?
I love that. He's just burning him. I love it. I really do. Would you like some shit?
When he said, "Would you like some shit?" That's when I went from, "Oh, this guy, Tyler's about to like be initiated," and then
He's
when
about
he
to
said,
throw down.
when he goes, "Would you like some shit?" I went, nope, he's messing with him. This is a prank."
I got some real Gordon Ramsay vibes from that.
Yeah.
From that scene.
Oh yeah, that was the point. I mean, I was waiting for him
guys-
to put 2 pieces of bread on him and say, "What are you?" I'm an idiot sandwich. Like
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, but we
idiot
didn't have any
sandwich.
bread in this movie.
there was no bread. You're not
No
wrong.
bread.
There was no bread.
They did you guys notice that when Tyler first went up to the kitchen, he's asking one of the chefs, kind of, I guess, trying to show off what he knew, and says, "Are you doing something or other on this machine?" When basically a machine to make foam for things. It's the same machine she uses to kill or to knock out later on in the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know. I didn't pick up on that, but that's cool. And I think you just took one of Andrew's trivia questions.
Uh-oh.
No, that's cool. I didn't pick up on that. I also really love the music in that. It's
Yeah.
just that single violin that's almost cheerful. Like if you change the scene and show like somebody painting or carving something, I think it works. You could also probably change it to like a World War II setting where a guy is coming out of the battle and he's seeing friends for the first time, and it could almost be hopeful. Like it's this really interesting movie, this music.
Leeks. Get to cook some leeks.
Like it's kind of
This is your station
hopeful
here.
and
What
happy,
else?
and it's this guy's just getting, skewered.
Shit? Would you like some shit?
Yeah.
Shallots.
I really like that. I think that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's very suspenseful. The violin part is just, I mean, it's super suspenseful because like you can take it either like, okay, this is super happy, kind of chill, but then like if you listen to it again, depending on the situation, on what's going on, and that's how it could also be taken is like, okay, so he's putting up, this is cool, like we're vibing. And then like when he fails completely, the violin's still the same, and it's just like, oh, okay, that he did not succeed.
Yeah, I mean, and you're not wrong. I think the violin adds to the tension. What really builds it for me is the energy in the room. Like all of the other chefs there, all the other cooks, whatever they're called, like the looks on their faces, they are disgusted.
Yeah.
That Tyler is in their kitchen. You can see it on their faces. Like it's really good acting on their part. And the sarcasm is dripping off of Chef. I really love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes. I thought it was great. And then my last clip is the one where I laughed out loud.
What school did you go to?
Brown?
Student loans? I'm sorry, you're dying.
I mean,
so bad.
That's kind of funny. In a world right now where we're arguing over student loan debt forgiveness, she went to a school that's $60,000 a year and doesn't have any loans. So either that Leguizamo paid for it, or she has really rich parents.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's possible. She's incredibly smart and got a full academic scholarship. Those do happen, but not usually to private schools like that. But I don't know. And usually those people aren't admins to a washed up actor. Which, by the way, I did read that Leguizamo was channeling. This is so funny. And you guys will like this. At least I think you will. Because I liked it, and we all like the same things. And that is that he was channeling his inner Steven Seagal for that role.
Nice.
I could see that, yeah.
Because the movie star was I already said that. Hold on. Where is it? I can't find it. Anyway, he was basically acting like Steven Seagal because he had such a bad experience working with Seagal on the movie Executive Decision. Even though Seagal's only in that movie for about 4.5 minutes. I thought that was really funny. Okay. Time for this.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
This is where we're going to play our game. That's right. This is the game that we call, Hey, Did You Notice? Andrew has created 5 very hard, I assume, questions about things from the movie. And Mike and Tabby will play against Sam and myself. Mike and Tabby will go first. If they get the question right, they get a point. If they get the question wrong, Sam and I have a chance to steal. And if you guys win, I will mail you more stickers. And if you lose, I will probably still mail you some stickers because I have a bunch.
He's going to go and take the stickers away.
Yeah, I'm actually going to drive to your house and take the ones I already gave to you.
Yeah. Just
we have some new stickers under our new name that we're going to send you guys anyway. So,
oh, how about that?
Sticker trade.
Yay! All right, Andrew, take it away.
All right, Mike and Tabby. Here's your first question.
Okay.
In what month and year was Chef Slowick Employee of the Month at Hamburger Howie's restaurant?
It was July 1988.
I don't agree to that, but okay.
Well, you got to think of how old Ralph Fiennes is, and then you look at the photo.
I was going to say March of 87, but okay.
Okay. Well, Andrew?
All right. Sean or Sam, do you have a guess?
I thought it was later than that. I'm going to say 1993. I don't know why that stuck in my head. For some reason, I was like, "Hey, Jurassic Park." I don't know why, but
no.
Was it earlier than that? Was it the 80s?
I think it was 87.
Okay.
If I remember right.
All right,
And
then
what
I'll
was the-
say
Month and year.
All right, so I'll if you say 87, I'll say April.
Okay, April 87.
It is August of 1987.
August. Dang.
Yeah.
Sweet,
So
do we
on
get
the
at least half a point?
well, I would have to give both of you half a point because you both said 1987.
All right.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
So
I'm the scorekeeper, so
I
there
get
we
a
go.
point too.
All right. Well, Mike and Debbie have to split a half a point, so you both get a quarter of a
fine.
point there.
Okay, that'll work.
I'll take it.
All right. Okay, so Sean and Sam, this is your question. Hawthorne Island, where the restaurant is located, is made up of how many acres?
15.
He said that with such conviction, I can't deny it. So,
Tabby and Mike.
Oh,
How many acres? 23. No. Hold on, I take that back. It is shit.
would you like some shit?
Can I, oh, God. Can I have a
No.
guess?
No.
Well, okay. You say your guess, and I'll say mine.
It's 20 okay, 23 acres.
I'm going to say less. I'm going to go 11. It was a small island.
Was a small island. No one got it correct. It was 12.
12.
You were very
Damn it.
close.
Son of a bitch. Oh my
12
God,
acres.
I was a whole acre off. Can we get a half a point?
All right. Mike and Tabby, this is your question.
Okay.
In the film, the chef's mother has one line of dialogue, 3 words. What does she say?
She says, wait, you said how many words?
3 words.
I think I have it.
3 words?
You go ahead because I want to say something that is clearly wrong.
No, 2 of the words.
Ooh.
Is it?
Shit. It's either fill it up or more wine, please.
That's my boy? No, that's not right.
No.
What you said. Go with one of the things you said. If I'm right, I'm going to thump you.
More wine, please.
Sean and Sam.
It was something
It's
like handsome boy. He's a
right?
handsome boy.
He's a handsome boy, or what a handsome
boy.
boy.
What a handsome boy. It's something like that. It's handsome boy.
Is
Damn it.
a handsome boy?
My handsome boy.
Mr. Handsome Boy. Yes.
Mr. Handsome.
I'll give it to you because that's really close. Yeah, Mr. Handsome Boy.
Yeah.
All right. Sean and Sam, this is your question. How many days does Hawthorne age their cow meat?
It was 154 because at 153, what happens? Oh, well, you get bacteria and die. Wasn't that the whole bit?
I thought it was 153, but at 154 was the bacteria you die.
It's
It's a game,
It's
Mike.
100. I swear it's 153.
Okay, yeah, you're right, Sam. Then we'll stick with you. 153.
Mike and Tabby.
Well,
It is 153.
If you want to go with it.
It is, I remember.
Well, we just said that and we're wrong.
We just said it. It was wrong.
Yeah,
No,
that's what they said. It was wrong.
No.
At day. So is that your final answer?
No.
Okay, fine. Then you
Is
No, I remember. Go ahead. No, if I'm wrong, fine. Then
156.
At day 153 is when the meat goes bad. They age it for 152. Is how many days they age their meat. So you were right with 153 being in that same conversation, but it was the opposite direction.
I said 154. Yeah.
All right. Whose turn is it? I've lost track at this point.
Theirs.
But they didn't even eat any meat, which is like,
No. It's their
Well, they
turn,
had
I think.
burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
And
you're
the bone
aging
marrow.
that
And
hamburger
the
for
bone marrow.
153 days, that's some blueberry burgers there.
All right. Final question here, Sean and Sam. What is the first food served in the movie?
It was that oyster thing.
Oyster. Yeah, it was like an oyster.
But it wasn't an
Yeah.
actual oyster, right? It was like
It was fake oyster shells. I know that because they were white.
yeah.
And
But
they
it
looked
was
like.
But it was foam or something, wasn't it? Like it was
It was. Yeah.
I'm going to give it to you because that's really close. Oyster mignonette emulsion
the emulsion.
with lemon
Lemon.
caviar. Yeah.
Lemon
and an
caviar.
oyster
Lemon.
leaf.
Yeah.
And the reason that I wanted to make this a question is because
What is that?
Oh my God!
it's
happened?
poops.
Jesus Christ.
Oysters
is
with
Yeah, sorry.
That's
I thought I would
actually
just hold it up to my chest. Yeah, because that's where she makes the comment that I love oysters because they serve what it is. It's a raw oyster with that foam emulsion on top.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
she'd rather just have the oyster.
yeah. So I don't know who won, but that's
same when I won. So therefore, they owe us stickers.
all right.
You were going to get stickers whether we won or lost anyway.
You don't know that.
I do. Well, you were on the world record episode back in August. We have your address. So I know
Uh-oh. I'm going to get them whether I like it or not. All right, cool. Time for this.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Our top three, since this movie is, basically one long-ass dinner scene mixed with some violence and killing. So we're going to say our top three favorite dinner scenes in movies. And this week we will start with Sam.
All right. My favorite one. So my number 3 would be the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And when they're cutting into the
turkey,
the turkey, right? My number 2 is the Ratatouille scenes, several different scenes, but especially the finale, the critic eating the Ratatouille.
Yeah.
And my number 1 has to be Denethor's feast from Return of the King.
Really?
When he's gobbling up the tomato, grape tomatoes and going insane.
I can't believe that you didn't go with Dr. Sattler and
that was ice cream. You can't have ice cream for a meal.
Why not? I've had it for a meal all the time. It's still a meal. I can't.
I fight my family.
Okay.
When they want to have ice cream as a meal.
Okay,
so
we're gonna rewind it. I can't believe you didn't
sticking
go
to my
with
principles.
the Chilean sea bass in Jurassic Park.
Well, that's true too. I forgot about the Chilean sea bass.
Or when the
remember-
Velociraptors ate the cow, and that was a nice, lovely dinner scene.
There you go.
Or when the
That'll work.
T-Rex ate the lamb chops. All right, Tabby.
My number 3 would be Beetlejuice when they're
Right.
at the table.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was super
that's a good
cool.
one.
Aliens
Okay.
when they're at the in the chest burster.
Right before.
And
yeah.
then and then of course I've got to go with Denethor in Return of the King. You,
Yeah.
you hit
Nice.
that one.
Right.
Lord of the Rings nut right here. So
All right, Mike.
I'm going to go with Denethor in Return of the King.
Number 3.
Tomato is number 3. And it's number 3 because although that whole spread looks delicious, the way he's just pushing tomatoes up against his teeth really like sores me out.
It's the whole point.
Yeah.
Makes you hate him even more.
Well, no, Peter Jackson did that shit on purpose.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The pewter, the lead in the whatchamacallit, it's supposed to be making him mad. So yeah.
My number 2 is is Tim and Lex in Jurassic Park eating all those desserts, the cakes, the ice creams, just all of that really like hits my sweet tooth super hard.
But because for her, she's eating fruit and stuff, so it was still a meal.
But she's a vegetarian, that's why. Yeah. But fruit is good too. Fruit's good too, and it's good for you. Although Tim is shoveling ice cream down his gullet.
And pies and cakes.
And you have to think those, eating scenes are always hard for actors because every time they reshoot, they have to eat it again and again and again. I wonder how much those kids had to eat.
A lot.
Yeah.
Well, they usually what happens is that they'll take a bite and then they'll call cut and then they spit it out into a bucket. Like you're not actually swallowing it because if you take 4 or 5 takes and then they have to turn the camera to shoot the other angle and you do it again, you're not going to be able to eat by the time. So usually they just literally have buckets where they spit the food out onto the floor.
My number 1 is the opening credits to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze when everyone is eating pizza every time. Even today, I saw that movie in theaters. To this day, every time I watch it, I have a huge craving for pizza.
Yeah. I have to tell this story, okay? He doesn't listen to the show, so it doesn't matter. I have a new
Caleb?
No, I have new coworkers. I'm at a new job, and the majority of the guys that I work with are significantly younger than I am. And I say significantly; they're in their 20s. And
wow, that is significantly younger than you.
And I was talking with a gentleman, and we were talking about different, nerd things, and he was talking about a Comic-Con that he went to a couple of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and he said. And we got there because I can't remember how we got there, but he mentioned something about Ninja Turtles or something like that, and I said, oh yeah, Ninja Turtles, and he goes, I was at this Comic-Con and there was music playing, and I walk in the corner and there's like a stage, and there are 4 Ninja Turtles up on stage, and there was a rapper up there singing something called Something Ninja, and I'm like,
oh Lord,
go Ninja, go Ninja, go, and he goes, yeah, do you know that? And I said, yeah. And he pulls out his phone, and I'm like, that's Vanilla Ice singing the ninja rap at a convention. He goes, what? Why? And I go, oh, it's from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. They literally have a fight scene and then get up on stage and sing the ninja rap. And he had never heard of it. He'd never seen the movie. And because he's a nerd too, which was really interesting to me. I was like, oh, you need to go watch that movie, then it'll make so much sense. It was just cracking me up.
His parents failed him.
Okay.
Yes.
What you should have said was, do I know it? Child, I lived it.
Yeah, I was there 3,000 years ago. When it was, yeah.
I was there. I was a part of this.
Yeah. I had that on VHS. Yes, I'm very aware of what it is. All right. My top 3 are... Number 3, Twister, when they're having the steak and eggs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That always
looked really good.
It always looks so good, and I just love the line where she's like, he goes, "Where did you get all this beef? Did you see my cow out front?" No, and she goes, "Up." It's like, "Oh, you slaughter your own cow." My number 2 is Close Encounters of a Third Kind, the whole mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
This is important. It just always cracks me up. Or you could do the UHF version where he makes fun of it. Also is funny. And my number 1 is Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, because of course I'm going to tie it to Star Trek. And the funny scene in that is that they have these blue noodles, and William Shatner bet the director that he could take a bite. So every time there's an opportunity to take a bite, or there's also blue drink, he would drink the drink. And so he's like, every take, he was making sure he was drinking it just to prove that he could do it, because William Shatner is an asshole and he has to do that kind of stuff. So, all right, Andrew, what you got?
I have two honorable mentions, actually. One is a TV show, and that's Big Bang Theory, because it seems like every episode they're eating.
Yeah.
And it's always Chinese, and I'm like, or Indian, and I'm like, I will really want some Chinese food every time I watch that show.
Or Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My other honorable mention is a little movie called The Campaign with Zach Galifianakis, and the whole scene where he, shaves the dog and glues the hair to his nuts.
Good hell.
The whole conversation at the dinner table, it makes me laugh. So my number 3 is the barbecue gator in The Waterboy.
But what are they having for dessert? Squirrel.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. You invoked it. I have to find it. Hold on. Oh, I wasn't ready. My new computer is slow as shit. Oh, I gotta find it. Where is it? I gotta find it. There you go. Waterboy sound. All right.
Yep. Number 2, I have the imaginary dinner from Hook.
Hook. Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. And then number 1, one of my favorite dinner scenes of all time. I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? From the Meet the Parents, as they're eating dinner there together, and they break the urn, and the cat craps in the ashes.
The ashes.
Yeah.
So Steven, good friend of the show, Steven, and I. Do I have that handy? We
should. You invoke the name, you got to invoke the sound.
I guess you're right. Well, while I scrolled looking for it. So he and I watched Hook 100 times growing up. I mean, ridiculous amounts of times. And he and I argued, and I don't remember which side of the argument that we were on, who was on which side. But we argued that the feast, right? Like, it only became real once Peter Pan showed up. Like, for all of these years, they've literally been eating nothing. But then when Peter Pan came back and the magic came back, then they actually were able to eat food for the first time. That was the argument that one of us made. I don't remember who.
I'm sorry,
I agree
but
with that.
Thud has been eating. He was a chunky little boy.
Yeah, I know, but
he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, but because like he couldn't see anything, it was imaginary to him until he believed, and then once he believed, then the camera could see it. So that's why the argument was, well, once he believes, does that mean that then that's when it becomes real? Is because of him. So I don't know. Again, this is arguments from 30 years ago. So it's not a big deal. All right. I have been looking for the Steve, by the way, and I can't find it. So this is what happens when I have I'm on a new computer. I have all the audio files. I just don't seem to have that one. So, and I also think I named it something weird.
Like Steve?
I think I named it. No, it's not. No, it's not Steve. Because when I just type in Steve, I have every song that I have of Steven on my computer pulled up. So, anyway. Moving on to Twitter. Well, this will be interesting. We only had 3 participants. The internal cauldron of emotions simply said, "Thank you for that nightmare fuel there, Sam." Said, "An unexpected movie, loved it. No one will get to see that." Oh, it's on your background now. Okay, that's terrifying.
That's what AI thinks Sean looks like, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
AI is scary.
I look kind of terrified, and my teeth look weird.
That's the sound I hear.
Like that's Sam. It looks like you put me in the Polar Express.
Right? Right? You got the dead eyes over there.
Yep. I think you also have a lazy eye or something.
Yeah, my left eye is
off to the left.
It's a little awkward.
One eye is listing lazily to the left over there.
Yeah. So the internal cauldron of emotions said, "Unexpected movie, loved it." That was what they said. And then, of course, Drew from Across the Stars podcast, and also from his other New Attitude Era wrestling podcast, says Beetlejuice, Star Trek VI, and Empire Strikes Back. I assume he means when there was a dinner place set where Vader was just kind of hanging out until they came in.
There you go.
Yeah.
Which he wouldn't be eating.
No, he wouldn't.
I mean, he'd have to kind of stuff it through the little vent or
little
something.
vent or whatever.
Liquefy it.
So in my Twitter post, I said tonight's episode is about the new, and I put horror in quotation marks because to me, this isn't really a horror film. Not really.
Suspense.
There's a suspense, a little bit of a thriller.
Yeah.
But it's not horror, right? We've watched a bunch of horror movies recently. Maybe not a bunch, but we've watched several.
Mm-hmm.
This does not feel that. So good friend Ebony from her two shows, Gruesome Movie Review Some. Gosh, that was hard for me to say. Who's been on the show, friend of the podcast. LOL'd my horror quotations. And then she went on a dinner scenes in any film? ? Eating meatloaf in Rocky Horror is funny for multiple reasons. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Loved Ones, House of a Thousand Corpses, Eraserhead, You're Next, American Beauty, Django Unchained, NL Xmas Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, 7, Hannibal, Dead Alive. And then she writes in the next post, I can keep going. And I said, I will read whatever you put up here, but this isn't really a top 3 anymore. And then she says, too hard to pick top 3. There's so many good ones. It's the best thing. It's the best thing about a dinner table scene. It brings people together. It creates tension. It's humorous. It's delicious. It's grotesque. So many things can happen around a dinner table in a film. So thank you,
That's
Ebony, for that. I really appreciate that. And also chiming in is the Happy Hour podcast. Thank you so much for participating. Also says the opening scene from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. So big shout out to the Happy Hour podcast. They are wonderful people, big fans of the show. I appreciate them. At some point, we should probably have them on our show. That'd be nice.
Oh, I think you should. They are fucking awesome.
Yeah, yes, they are. That's it. Time for this now. Let's scroll to this.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
This is where we give this movie a score from 0 to 10. And I think Andrew goes first.
Yeah, I don't know what IMDb gave it because I've already closed that down.
7.3.
I was gonna say I think it was 7 point something when I looked. And I'm gonna go maybe a tad higher. I like it at around a good. Usually I like it a little medium rare, but I'm gonna go a little well done here to about a 7.9 out of 10.
All right. Tabs.
I would have to give this movie a 7.7.
Okay, Mike.
I'm gonna give it a pretty solid 8.5, 8.5.
Okay.
The only reason is because the forest chase scene, like you didn't do anything to them when you caught them. Like what was that?
There had to be
outside of that, I thought it was fantastic, and I will definitely give this a rewatch.
All right. I like it. Sam.
I enjoyed a lot of this movie. There's certain questions I do have, but not so much that it takes away from the enjoyment of it. I give it a good 7.9 out of 10.
All right. So we got some enjoyment here. I like that. I really do. And all right. Well, I really had a good time with this. I rather enjoyed it, and it also helped that I did a little movie watch along with some other friends, and right before watching this movie, and it was a terrible movie, but it was like so bad it's good, kind of funny thing.
Yeah.
Tammy and the T-Rex. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but
Heard the name. I have not seen the movie.
it is.
Yeah.
It is hot garbage. I mean,
that's what I've heard.
Paul Walker, Denise Richards.
Oh, there's your problem right there.
Like this is Denise. Like this is like a 23-year-old Denise Richards. Like right before she does Starship Troopers, and Basically, the idea is there's a mad scientist out there who wants to take a human brain and put it into an animatronic T-Rex.
Right.
But there's also a bully, like crazy bully, and the bully basically kills Paul Walker, and then the scientist takes his brain and sticks it in the animatronic T-Rex, and then the T-Rex goes around killing all the bad people in his life.
Oh dear.
It's
So
awful,
bad.
but it's amazing at the same time. It's
I
one of
have
those
to watch
movies. It's a movie where if we were to do it for the podcast, we would have to watch it as a watch along. Like to watch it and then review it normally, you would hate me. But if we watched it together and laughed and joked and stuff, it would be worth to do. Worth watching. Anyway, with that being said, that kind of helped elevate this movie, in my opinion. I thought the score, again, I mentioned earlier, I thought the score was really good. Very suspenseful. I really love just how it's not just like screeching strings. It's actually really beautiful music on its own, with the way it's able to build tension and things. I'm going to give it an 8, just a solid 8. I really had a good time with this, and I was not expecting to. Again, I was expecting it to be people eating people. I really did. And
People eating people.
I kind of had like a weird like Jim Jones Georgetown vibe about almost halfway through.
And then you realize everybody's gonna die.
Yeah.
In a fiery s'more death.
That's right.
I think it's the graham crackers.
It is.
I think it's the graham crackers. The chocolate and the marshmallow is probably fine by itself.
I mean, he did say they were industrialized graham crackers.
I mean, he basically explained all the things you hate about it, Andrew. It was like,
yeah, I mean, his whole rant about it being like the basically the equivalent of a food abortion. That's
the way to look at it.
Yeah,
that is the way to look at it. Food abortion.
Yeah,
that's
just. That's kind of how I view it. Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, Mike and Tabs, this is your opportunity to tell our listeners where they can find your show and what your show is all about.
Well, you can find our show by visiting our Linktree, which is officially been rebranded. Which on February 1st we will be changing our brand to the Grace Taproom Podcast, but we are currently still Happy Hour Podcast
until the 31st, baby.
Until the 31st of this month, which is a week and a half from the recording of this episode.
Yep.
That you can go to linktr.ee/Grace Taproom Podcast 2. There you can find all of our listening platforms, which wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, we're right there. Our merch store, if you want to buy us a coffee, because after a long night of podcasting, we want to wake up the next
and
day
drinking. We need hangover cures.
we do enjoy a nice hot cup of coffee or an iced coffee. Our merch store is there. All of our socials: Twitter, Facebook, YouTube,
Instagram,
TikTok. We're all right there under our link tree, which can be found in our Twitter bio.
Very cool. All right. Go check them out. It's a lot of fun, especially the parts that I'm on. Go check that out. Go listen to their world record setting, like, what was it, 48-hour, 72-hour podcast?
It was 41 hours and
41 hours, 11 minutes, 52 seconds.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think, honestly, I do think YouTube pulled it down because somebody played music somewhere in there.
We had we used to have a third host who will be unnamed. He was playing music that was
no bueno.
It was copyrighted, so YouTube did pull it. So we are still in the works of trying to get that squared out. So.
Oh, that's annoying.
Shoot.
I play music all the time. I mean, these clips are all copyrighted, but anyway.
You're only allowed a certain amount of seconds, I do believe.
Yeah.
There's
well, there's also for what do you call it, Sean? It's not fair use, but it's if you're reviewing something or you're
it kind of is. It kind of goes into fair use. Because I get to play the clips. I mean, when I post stuff on YouTube, I'll get a note. Hey, I mean, the last time we got a copyright ding was like 3 years ago, and it was a movie. Turkey, literally the country of Turkey, dinged it. I don't know why. It was very weird. I have that email somewhere. It's funny. Anyway, in the meantime, go to our website, Cheapseat Reviews, or go to our Linktree, Linktree/Cheapseat Reviews, or cheapseatreviews.libsyn.com. There you can find links to all of our other social media. Check out our YouTube. YouTube is kind of becoming a thing for us now. We're posting videos there of us, and it's kind of cool. And you should definitely go check out our RRR review, because apparently it's our most downloaded, or it's our most watched YouTube video ever by a whole lot. And it's already in the top third of our most downloaded episodes. So
until now. Until this one drops.
Until maybe this one drops. Who knows? I don't know.
You never know.
This one might be the one. I mean, just people might be flocking to YouTube just to see Sam's horrible AI things that he's created in his background. I don't know.
I mean, I will be.
They are a little disturbing, I have to say.
Yeah, the one that he still has a picture, an AI generated version of me staring,
looking longingly.
That is the prompt was man dreaming of cheeseburger.
Nice.
That's all you wrote was man, and that's what it came up with?
Well, and I also sent it a link to one of your pictures. So
okay. All right.
Use you as a reference, and then
I want someone to look at me the way that person is looking at that cheeseburger.
I will do that very thing for you, Sean.
Oh, I appreciate that. You are truly the entree of this podcast. I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
I thought I was the entree.
No, you were the salty dessert, remember?
That's right, the caramel, salted caramel,
you're the
and
French fries. You're
whatever.
just the side.
No.
I'm kidding.
Next week, we are doing, speaking of food, we're doing the glass onion.
Ooh, nice.
Next week.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I have not seen that one yet, so that'll be fun.
So good.
I've seen it. I've seen it twice, and I'm really excited for Sam to watch it. And watching it the second time, I will say this:
don't ruin it.
No. All I'm gonna say is there's a little bit of the rewatchability kind of thing going on there. It's kind of like Knives Out. Knives Out was fantastic. When I watched it the second time, it was like, okay.
You should just be excited to hear his accent in this movie.
His yes, you will get. This movie has probably 65% more Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it's buttress. You must buttress yourself. That's all I'm gonna say. Buttress. All right. Anyway, why don't you buttress yourself and go listen to Happy Hour podcast, and of course, go listen to us. Leave us a review too. That'd be great. That's it. That's the show. That's all. I have nothing more to say, and therefore, I'll play this outro music to make me stop talking. And I will say that this has been an absolute blast, and thank you all so much for listening. And on behalf of Mike and Tabby, Andrew and Sam, this is Sean saying thank you all so much for listening. And we will see you next week for Happy Hour podcast. No, for Glass Onion, not for Happy Hour.
This is Cheap Seat Reviews.
I mean, you could do that too. That would be fine as well. But no, Glass Onion.
I am pissed off at that hairline.
What's going on with your hairline? I don't understand.